Hello and welcome to Maple Flavored Yoga. My name is Andy and this class is the third out of the 4-week mini-series Journey to the Sun. Last week's mission or goal was to try and get out in green spaces as much as you could, and I really hope that you had the opportunity to do that. Nature is such a powerful healer, and it just realigns us in a way that is just extra yummy, I think. This week, my hope is that you can find some time to journal or sit with your thoughts. I do find it's beneficial to write these things down. I love journaling, and if you've never done it before, it can be a wonderful practice, brings about a lot of clarity, and can help you move through different situations. But for this week, my hope is that you have the time to write down things that make you your best. So maybe that is when you're meditating on a regular basis or you're exercising on a regular basis. Maybe it's when you're eating really well or spending time with your family or other people that just bring out the best in you. So writing these things down and seeing them on paper can kind of alter the way that we view them, because we're actually viewing them with our eyes. So we're intaking that into our body in a new way instead of just thinking about it. And also, this can be a really beautiful gratitude practice. If you have thought about getting into journaling, but you're not really sure where to begin, there's lots of 5-minute journals or journals that have prompts every day, gratitude journals and things like that. You can do this once or as many times throughout the week as you would like, just to kind of reinforce and recognize the things that make you at your best. And don't downplay your role in you being at your best too. Don't always assume that it has to be external, because we are our greatest teachers and healers. So give yourself some gratitude too. So we'll come into this moment fully arriving on our mats, connecting our breath, coming into the now. Maybe extending some gratitude towards yourself in this moment for doing something that is healthy for you. And by investing in yourself, you are in turn investing in all those around you, in your family, your community, your friends, coworkers. It's the positive butterfly effect, if you will. As always, I would like to extend my gratitude to the creators and cultivators of yoga, the people of South Asia, for sharing this beautiful practice with all of us. If your eyes were closed, you can blink them open, taking in the space, taking in your pet on your lap. Sorry, Dr. Clark, you're gonna have to move. And we're slowly gonna make our way into tabletop. So get there however you would like. And this class is going to be really geared towards moving through and familiarizing ourselves with the poses in sun salutation. We're gonna start with a cat-cow. So inhaling, belly drops to the floor, we look up. Exhale, we push the ground away. Belly button draws to spine. Inhale. Exhale. Inhaling and exhaling through our nose here. So just follow your own breath here. So as I was saying, this class is going to be geared towards coming into the different poses that are found in Surya Namaskar A or Salutation A, so we can get really familiar with them and really feel our way through the pose. So it's not going to be a very flowy class. It's going to be a very pose intimate type class. Spending a little more time in each one, finding alignment within ourselves, and seeing what each pose has to offer us. On your next inhale, we will come to a neutral spine. We're gonna tuck our toes and push our hips up and back. We're gonna bring our thighs to our stomach to our thighs here. Really making sure that our hands and our finger mounds are into the floor. And allowing this lengthening into our shoulders, this beautiful opening here. And then you can slowly begin to straighten your legs, nice and slow. So this is going to be a really slow class, so we can really tap into the sensations that we're experiencing in each moment, in each pose. You can pedal your feet here. But as I said, try and do so with great care, trying to notice whatever sensations are coming up. Sometimes if I'm in a class, or sometimes if I'm doing my own practice and I'm moving too quickly through the poses, I feel like I'm kind of just skipping over the top of what is being shown to me in them. So I like to usually try to move pretty slowly, or if I do a flowy type motion, I do like to come to stillness to see what doorways have opened, what my body, mind, soul, whatever you want to call it, is bringing to my attention. So we'll come to stillness here. And as always, when we're in these poses, you can come down into child's pose at any time, or any restorative pose that you need to catch your breath or collect your thoughts. So you can close your eyes here and allow your body to speak to you. And maybe you're thinking, Andy, it's telling me to stop. That's normal, as long as there's no pain. This is when you can learn how to decipher if it's your body saying, no, I'm tapped out, or if it's your mind going, oh, maybe I might find something here that I don't want to, or that's a little uncomfortable. Also notice if you start transferring tension to other parts of your body, if you start clenching your jaw, or you're clenching your eyes closed. All right, from here, we're gonna slowly walk our feet up to the top of the mat. If you have to bend your legs here, go for it. We're going to, once again, we're going to bring our feet a little bit wider than our hips, bending our knees, allowing our thighs, again, to drape over our stomach, because apparently I'm having a backwards day. We're going to rest our stomach on our thighs and just kind of drape our top body over our bottom half. Let your neck go here. You can give your head a shake if that feels good. Don't forget to breathe. Allow gravity to let your head feel weighty. And then slowly you can push your feet into the floor and begin to straighten your legs. Maybe they don't come completely straight. That's okay. If your hands aren't on the floor also, don't worry about it. So on inhale, be straight. Exhale, we'll drape. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, drape. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, drape. Inhale, straighten. And we'll hold here. We'll heel toe our feet a little bit closer together. We'll do that same motion again. So exhale, we'll drape over. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, drape down. Inhale, straighten your legs. And we're hinging from our hips here. Exhale, flop, get a little weighty. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, down. And our next inhale, we're going to come all the way up. Hands will extend over our heads. Exhale, hands to heart center. From here, we're going to come into mountain pose, or Tadasana. And we'll take a moment to really make sure we're setting ourselves up properly here. We want to make sure that our feet are hip width apart. There are some people who prefer to have their feet really close together so that their big toe mounds are touching. You can try both variations. I prefer my feet a little bit wider so I feel more sturdy and stable. Our big toe mounds are planted into the floor. We have a nice even weight distribution through the 3 points of our feet. Our toes are light. If you'd like, you can lift them off the mat. That can help, because sometimes if I'm doing a lot of balance poses, I can feel my toes really gripping the mat. So nice, breezy little piggies there. Tall spine. Our belly button is still being pulled into the spine, and we don't want to have a huge curve in our spine, and we also don't want to be like really clenching or curling our tailbone. Just want to have our tailbone just like sweetly tilted to the floor so that we're engaging our core muscles. Hands are down by your sides, palms face forward. Shoulders are relaxed. You don't have to be pulling them really down, but they should be up by your ears. Your neck is nice and spacious. Almost like there's a little string pulling right to the sky. And we'll take 6 big breaths here, just so we can really experience what this pose has to share. In and out through our nose. If you'd like to close your eyes here, go for it. Turn your gaze internally. And notice if you are starting to transfer tension. Belly, shoulders, jaw, eyes, glutes are common places. One nice even in and out breath. Once again, if your eyes were closed, you can blink them open. And just observe. See how you're feeling after that pose. This pose is really beautiful for grounding, really bringing you into the moment. And this pose is very accessible throughout the day if you are standing in line at the grocery store and your mind is going through all the lists of things you have to do. You don't have to close your eyes, obviously, but you can stand in line and really just feel your weight in your feet, bringing you back into the now, and that helps you collect yourself, and then you can maybe look at your list of things to do in a more grounded space instead of really, really elevated and really, really airy. This is a very grounding earth element type pose. So from here we will inhale our arms back up. And you can bring your palms together if that feels good. If not, you can keep your arms apart. Like if it feels really not good in your shoulders, select which is best for you. Still allowing your feet to be evenly distributed with weight. We still want to keep that activation in the core, so we don't want to just start dumping into our low back. We want to still keep that nice activation. Gaze is up to the sky. And we'll do 3 breaths here. So we'll do one more inhale. Next exhale is to fold forward. We're hinging from our hips, nice flat back. So if maybe you get here and you start to have to curl into your upper back to get your hands to the floor, you don't want to do that. You can also bend your knees here as much as you need to. So we're gonna fold. If you have blocks or books, you can also use those to grab onto. So we're gonna come into this forward fold. I have a tendency to really rock back into my heels when I do a forward fold, especially when I have a wall. But, so this is something that I really need to be conscientious of when I'm doing forward folds and things like that. So for here, once again, we'll do 6 breaths here. If, as I said before, at any time it starts to not feel good, then come into child's pose, or you can come back into mountain pose. But just really allowing that lengthening through the backs of the legs. And allow yourself to reveal what you need to reveal, which can be very, maybe uncomfortable. There is still a slight bend in the knees. We never want to lock out the joints. Last breath. Halfway lift, inhale. And then exhale, we will step back. Nice and slow here, take your time. So you can come into plank pose, and we'll hold plank for 3 breaths, so hands are really activated, core is activated, our bum's not sagging, it's not too high. But we still want to have that belly button to spine. This can also be done with your knees on the floor as well, so select what is best for you. Last one. Whew. And we'll come to knees, chest, chin, knees, chest to the floor, chin. So if this feels okay for you, you can stay here. If not, maybe coming into a child's pose might be your better option. We'll do 3 breaths here, allowing our hearts to open. Last one. Toes will untuck. We'll come into a cobra with our hands on the floor. Or maybe for this, since it's our first one, we'll come into a Sphinx pose. Hi. So coming into Sphinx pose, our elbows are underneath of our shoulders and they're shoulder width apart. We don't want to have them too wide here. Feet and legs are active. Your toes are kind of pushing into the floor. Just allowing this nice opening. You can kind of pull your hands towards your hips to allow this, the sensation that your chest is pulling forward. So we're creating space in the thoracic spine instead of into the lumbar spine. So we'll do 3 breaths here. One more. Here we'll slowly come back down. Hands plant onto the mat. We're going to be pushing up into downward dog, but sometimes a really nice transition is to push back into child's pose, and then from here you can tuck your toes and then push into downward dog. So if that is something you'd like to try, or that's something you can bring to a class, if you're doing a lot of sun salutations or a similar transition, that can be a nice alternative. And as always, I always encourage people to try everything, because maybe that just feels better for you. Because it is a really nice, yummy alternative. I'm all about yummy alternatives. So here we are once again in downward dog. We'll do 3 more breaths here. Really pushing your hands into the mat. We will step forward, or if you have to take a couple steps like we did before, go for it. So we're at the top of the mat. We will halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hands above head. And if you'd like, you can add a little back bend here. And then we'll bring our hands to heart center. We'll hold this for 3 more breaths. Bring our hands down by our sides, back into mountain pose, and take a moment to assess how we feel now. So that is a full round of Sun Salutation A. There's a lot of different variations. So from here we'll do 3 rounds, moving through the sequence, still moving slowly, but we'll try and move for the most part 1 breath per pose. So coming into mountain pose, taking a moment to really make sure that you're set up here before we get going. Connect down into the earth. I'm trying to remember that we're doing an equal inhale, exhale breath for each pose. So if you find that your breath is really long inhale, short exhale, or something like that, you may need to modify the pose or maybe take a moment in child's pose. So inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Step back. Knees, chest, chin. On your exhale, inhale to cobra. Exhale, we tuck our toes, push back into downward dog, and we'll hold for 3 breaths here. So whatever foot you stepped back with, you will step forward with, back into halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, all the way up, hands above head. Exhale, hands to heart center. And we'll take 3 breaths here. Notice how you're feeling. Last inhale. Exhale. Bring our hands down to our sides once again. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Try and step back with the opposite foot from last time. Knees, chest, chin, exhale down. Inhale up to cobra, keeping elbows tucked close to the ribs. Exhale, tuck our toes, push back to downward dog, always having the option of doing that child's pose to downward dog. 3 breaths here. We'll step up with whatever foot you stepped back with, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, hands above head. Exhale, hands back to heart center. We'll take 3 breaths here. Hands down by our sides. Last round, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Step back. Knees, chest, chin. You can come into chaturanga here. And then push up into upward facing dog and eat all of your hair. And exhale, downward dog, 3 breaths. If you didn't do the chaturanga, that is totally okay. I just thought I would throw that in there for people who are more familiar with this type of sequence. Stepping up to the top of the mat, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hands to heart center. We'll do one more round just to even us out because I feel like I'm gonna feel off because we only did 3. So we'll do one more on the opposite side. Hands down by our sides, inhale up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Step back. Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Inhale to upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. 3 breaths here. Stepping to the top of the mat, halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Hands heart center. We will bring our feet a little bit wider with our toes pointing kind of to the edges of our mat and our heels a little bit close. So we'll keep our hands at heart center and we'll slowly make our way down into Malasana. If you'd like to use a block or something here, you can as well. Still flat back. Not curling through the upper spine. And then we'll bring our hands behind us. Bring our bottoms to the floor. And we can cross our legs. And we'll just do a nice, easy twist here. Bringing our hand to our opposite knee. And placing your fingers behind you. You can look over that shoulder if that feels good. We'll release and switch sides. Again, taking great care. Allowing yourself to take notice of whatever it is you're feeling. Still breathing into our stomachs here. We can release. Bring our knees back to the sky, grabbing the backs of our thighs. I'm gonna have to scooch down this way. We'll roll back onto our backs. And bringing our feet out, we're gonna come into our Shavasana. So If you'd like to put pillows or blankets or blocks underneath of your knees, if this doesn't feel good for your low back, you can always bring your feet a bit wide and bring your knees together. So this is still very relaxing. So, and if you've never tried that other variation before, I mean, totally go for it. See how that feels in your body. Maybe that feels better for you. And we'll just drop in here. Releasing any command we had of the breath. Allowing it to rise and fall naturally. This is where our bodies get to integrate all that energy we've released. Some will just let go, and others we can move into other spaces of our being. Check to see if you're holding tension in your body, your glutes, your stomach, your shoulders, your jaw. Let the softness of your eyes melt. If you have more time, I encourage you to take a longer Shavasana. There's so much goodness that can come from this pose, but if you don't have the time or you feel prepared, you can invite some movement back into your fingers and your toes. And give yourself a great big stretch. One at a time, we can bring our knees to our chest. And give yourself a hug. That always feels really good. And then you can roll to whichever side feels best for you, and take a moment there. Then when you're ready, you can make your way back to seated. Nice and slowly. And closing your eyes once you get there, having a soft gaze. And this is a moment where we can observe what we've found during our practice. Taking note of any sensations you're feeling in your physical body or your energetic body, your emotional self. And know that these are our internal means of communicating, and there's nothing wrong with whatever you're experiencing, even if it doesn't maybe feel really great. I hope you feel good, but if you don't, know that this is just some internal dialogue. We have to have the good with the bad, the light and the dark, all that stuff. So allow yourself to experience. So this week, I hope that you do find some time to maybe journal or at least think about the things that make you your best self, and maybe cultivate some gratitude for those things and for yourself for moving through this journey. Even if it was just this one class, you don't have to do the whole series by any means. Anytime you're showing up for yourself is something to celebrate and something to be grateful for. So, as always, wherever this life takes you, know that you are seen, you are loved, and you are divine. Take care.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Maple Flavored Yoga.